Sometime after midnight on August 12, 2026, the residents of Novorossiysk, a port city of 260,000 on Russia's Black Sea coast, were woken by the sound of their own air defenses firing into the sky. Then the explosions started. Dozens of them, hundreds of drones, missiles coming from multiple directions, fires erupting across the waterfront, the naval base, the grain terminals, the oil infrastructure. Bystander footage uploaded to Telegram showed traces streaking across the night sky, orange fireballs blooming on the horizon, and the continuous thud of detonations rolling across the water like thunder that wouldn't stop. By morning, Novorossiysk, Russia's busiest seaport, the final sanctuary of the Black Sea Fleet, and the gateway for roughly 600,000 to 700,000 barrels of Russian crude oil per day, was in a state of emergency. Water service to the entire city was cut. 3 of Russia's largest grain terminals had halted operations. Fires were burning at the Sheskharis oil terminal. 21 residential buildings were damaged. About 90 people had been moved to temporary shelters. An 8-year-old boy was dead, and 4 Russian warships were sitting damaged at their moorings, struck in the one port where they were supposed to be safe. Zelensky called it a unique operation. He wasn't exaggerating. The strike hit Russia's naval base with a weapon combination that no Western government had to approve. Palianytsia jet-powered drones, a new Ukrainian system, domestically designed and manufactured by Ukroboronprom. Neptune anti-ship cruise missiles, developed by Ukraine's Luch Design Bureau, the same weapon that sank the Moskva in April 2022. And maritime unmanned surface vehicles, the drone boats that have been systematically destroying Russian shipping across the Black Sea and Sea of Azov for months. 3 weapon systems, all Ukrainian-made, all beyond any donor nation's authority to restrict or veto. This is the operational fact that separates the Novorossiysk strike from every ATACMS volley and every Storm Shadow launch Ukraine has ever conducted. There were no Washington approval calls, no London escalation management negotiations, no debates about whether the target was too deep, too sensitive, or too escalatory for Western-supplied weapons. Ukraine built these systems, Ukraine aimed them, and Ukraine fired them at a target more than 300 kilometers from the front line. The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine identified 4 warships damaged in varying degrees. 2 Project 11,356 frigates, the Admiral Makarov and the Admiral Essen, a Project 21,631 Buyan-M small missile ship, and the Project 22,160 patrol ship Vasily Bykov. The Admiral Makarov and Admiral Essen are Grigorovich-class frigates, among the most capable surface combatants remaining in Russia's Black Sea Fleet. Each carries 8 vertical launch cells for Kalibr, Onyx, or Zircon cruise missiles. These are the ships that fire the missiles that hit Ukrainian apartment buildings, hospitals, shopping centers, and power stations. Every Kalibr-armed frigate that Ukraine damages or sinks is a launcher that can't fire at Ukrainian civilians. These are not symbolic targets. They are the physical platforms of Russia's terror campaign. The Security Service of Ukraine confirmed strikes on 3 of the 4 vessels and added additional targets. A 30N6E radar system belonging to Nsminas 300 air defense battery, a mobile firing position at Pier No. 2, the tunnel entrance to the Grusheveya oil depot leading to the Sheskharis terminal, and infrastructure across Piers 3, 6, and 7. The SBU emphasized a point that carries the full weight of Ukraine's 4.5-year naval campaign. The Novorossiysk Naval Base is one of the key facilities of the Russian Black Sea Fleet and its main outpost in the Black Sea. The enemy moved a significant portion of its ships here after successful special operations by the defense forces, when it lost the ability to safely base them in temporarily occupied Crimea. That sentence contains the entire arc of the war at sea. In 2022, Russia's Black Sea Fleet was based in Sevastopol, the historic home of the Russian Navy in Crimea, a port that Russia had controlled since it annexed the peninsula in 2014. Sevastopol was supposed to be untouchable. It was deep behind Russian lines, protected by layers of air defense and surrounded by occupied territory. Ukraine touched it anyway. In April 2022, the flagship Moskva was sunk by 2 Neptune missiles, the same weapon system used in the Novorossiysk strike. In subsequent months, Ukrainian naval drones, Storm Shadow missiles, and ATACMS strikes systematically destroyed or damaged warships, submarines, and port infrastructure in Sevastopol. By 2025, the Black Sea Fleet had effectively abandoned Crimea, retreating eastward to Novorossiysk, a port on the Russian mainland, further from the front line, presumably beyond the reach of Ukraine's weapons. That presumption died on August 12th. Novorossiysk is no longer safe. The fleet has nowhere left to run. OSINT analysts from Exelnova Plus and the Cyber Boroshno Group conducted satellite assessments that suggest the damage may extend beyond the 4 ships identified by the General Staff. They assessed that the Project 864 reconnaissance ship Pryazovai may have sustained damage to its stern and reported strikes on coastal infrastructure belonging to Russia's 4th Submarine Brigade. Satellite imagery from Vantor, published by AFP, showed extensive damage across the naval base, with multiple vessels visibly affected. But the naval damage was only one dimension of the strike. The economic devastation may be even more consequential. Novorossiysk is not just a naval base. It is Russia's most important commercial port on the Black Sea. It handles the largest share of Russian grain exports. It is the endpoint of Transneft's main crude oil pipelines. The Sheskharis terminal, struck in the attack, loads 600,000 to 700,000 barrels of crude oil per day onto tankers bound for global markets. The Caspian Pipeline Consortium terminal, partly owned by Chevron and ExxonMobil, operates from the same port complex. The Financial Times reported that Ukraine had agreed, following a late July request from Vice President J.D. Vance, not to target CPC infrastructure or non-Russian vessels not carrying Russian cargo. That agreement, if it holds, represents a remarkable diplomatic calculation. Ukraine is willing to spare Western-owned oil infrastructure while systematically destroying Russian-owned assets in the same port. Bloomberg reported that 3 of Russia's largest grain terminals in Novorossiysk halted operations after being damaged in the strike. A loading gallery at United Grain Company's Novorossiysk grain plant collapsed. Several silos were damaged. A gallery and truck unloading facility at Dmitri's terminal were hit. The KSK terminal was struck as well. Reuters confirmed that Novorossiysk grain terminal annual export capacity 8.5 million metric tons suspended operations, along with the Novorossiysk grain products combine with 7.1 million metric tons of annual capacity. Combined, these terminals handle approximately 15.6 million metric tons of grain exports per year. Grain shipments from Novorossiysk were described as currently impossible due to the infrastructure damage. Russia is the world's largest wheat exporter. Novorossiysk is its single most important grain export port, and as of August 12th, it's shut down. This compounds the damage already inflicted by Operation Molo Ch-Kar, the 30-day Ukrainian naval drone campaign that blocked the Kerch Strait, sealed the Sea of Azov, and collapsed Russian wheat exports through the Azov ports by 830%. Now the Black Sea port that was supposed to compensate for the Azov shutdown has been struck as well. The wheat market reacted immediately. Prices had already been elevated since the Kerch Strait closure in July. The Novorossiysk strike threatens to push them higher, with implications for food importing nations across Africa, the Middle East, and Southeast Asia. Acting Ukrainian Defense Minister Yevgeny Khmara framed the strike in the broadest possible terms. We will shut down the Russian war machine. We will destroy infrastructure, the fleet, logistics, fuel and energy facilities, and enterprises that are working for the war against Ukraine. This is not a statement about one attack. It is a statement of strategic doctrine. Ukraine is systematically dismantling every node that connects Russia's military to its economic base. Refineries, warehouses, shipping lanes, ports, and now the warships themselves. The Novorossiysk strike also exposed a critical vulnerability in Russia's air defense architecture. Krasnodar Governor Kondratiev said the region spent the entire night repelling several hundred drones. Despite this massive defensive effort, Ukrainian weapons reached the naval base, the oil terminal, the grain terminals, and the port infrastructure. The 30N6E radar, a key component of the Sminas 300 system, was itself destroyed, meaning the air defense system that was supposed to protect Novorossiysk was one of the targets that got hit. This is the pattern that has defined Ukraine's approach throughout 2026. Strike the air defenses first, then strike everything the air defenses were protecting. It's the same sequencing the US military used in the opening hours of the Gulf War, and the same doctrine being applied against Iran. Ukraine has internalized these principles and is executing them with domestically built weapons at a fraction of the cost. The Novorossiysk operation represents the convergence of every Ukrainian capability that has been developed, tested, and refined over the past 2 years. Naval drones that cleared Russian warships from Crimea, long-range strike drones that reached refineries across Russia, Neptune missiles that sank the Moskva, Palianytsia jet drones that bypass all Western restrictions, all of them in a single coordinated package, hitting a single target, Russia's last naval sanctuary. The fleet fled Sevastopol because Ukraine made Crimea uninhabitable for warships. Now Ukraine has followed the fleet to Novorossiysk and hit it again. The question that every Russian admiral is asking this morning is the one that has no good answer. Where do you go next? There is no port on the Black Sea that is beyond Ukraine's reach. Every pier, every berth, every fueling station is within range of weapons that cost a fraction of the ships they target. The Black Sea fleet is not just damaged, it is strategically homeless. Zelensky said it plainly: the occupation fleet and all the infrastructure supporting it will not be safe as long as Russian aggression continues. 4 warships damaged, 3 grain terminals shut down, an oil terminal on fire, an air defense radar destroyed, a city's water supply cut, a state of emergency declared, an 8-year-old boy dead. That's one night in Novorossiysk. And it was done with weapons that no foreign government can veto. If this breakdown helped you understand what just happened and why it matters for the future of this war, hit subscribe. Drop your take in the comments. Can the Black Sea Fleet survive 2026?